Hello knitters, Barbara Benson here. I am an independent knitwear designer who also likes to make videos here on my YouTube channel, Watch Barbara Knit. If you'd like to know more about my independent designs, please check in the description below, and there you will find a link to my Ravelry page where you can see all of the patterns I have available for you to get and knit up for yourself. Also in the description below, you will find a couple of links. One is to my Patreon page, which is sort of like a tip jar for the YouTube. If you enjoy my videos and would like to contribute towards me being able to continue making them, please check through and see what that's all about. Another link down there is to the Watch Barbara Knits Facebook group. We would love to have you come over and join us so we can continue to have the conversations that we start here on the YouTube channel, and with the bonus that we get to share pictures of what we're working on. So yay, do thumbs up. I flubbed the intro a little bit because I'm actually a little bit nervous about today's video. I am going to open up a package, but I'm sitting here fiddling with my fingers down here. I'm a little nervous. I'm going to open up a package and then I'm going to talk to you about what's in the package. I know what's in the package, but I haven't seen it yet. And it's a big package. Let me get it over here. Listen. It is a big package. This. These are my author copies of my new book. I'm so excited and terrified and I don't know, it's a different feeling because this is my second book, and I'll put a link in the description below to my unboxing of my first book, Mosaic and Lace Knits. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get as emotional about this one because there was something about it being like my first book, but I'm excited about this book. It's very different. I'm nervous to see how the knitting public reacts to this one. Because it is very different from the first one, has a very different, well, it is and it isn't different. And that's one of the things I'll talk about is how I got to where this is. And I just thought I'd share with y'all me opening this up and so you can see it. Now, it's too heavy for me to hold up and open because it weighs a ton. There's a few books in here because I get a few. Okay, boogers. I almost put myself in the face. That would have been fabulous. Y'all would have been like, call 911. Okay, so now I gotta lay it down flat where y'all can't see it. Well, you can see a little bit of it. Hold the knife, you know, you open stuff up like that. I always am worried I'm gonna cut my fingers. Put the scissors away. Here we go. We got the squishy stuff. And it's upside down, which is awesome. It's real. It's a real book that you can hold in your hands. Wow. Let me get this big old box out of the way because I know what all the rest of it is. They're just more the same. You hear that? I told you it was heavy. Wow. It's real. So this is the new book. This is Big Yarn, Beautiful Lace Knits. 20 shawls, hats, ponchos, and more in bulky yarn by Barbara Benson. That's me. So I really love the color. You know, we went around and around on, you know, I worked through the whole process with I'm very, very picky about fonts. And I really love the colors we landed on. Look, I love this kind of, it's not a turquoise. It's like it's not quite, it's just a beautiful blue color. And you can see we have pictures on the back, and then it talks about me. It says lace has traditionally been knit in fine weight yarns to create airy, delicate designs. But when knit in bulky yarns, lace becomes bold, graphic, and dramatic. For those new to bulky yarns, Barbara Benson shows you how these yarns work best in lace designs and provides tips and tricks for reading and executing lace patterns. Gorgeous pictures by well-known knitting photographer Gail Zucker show the knitwear to full stunning effect, and I must say, yes indeed. All of these pieces will knit up fast, so get those big needles and chunky yarns ready to roll. So that is what we are doing, and that is a lot of what was behind this. I can tell you that maybe 2 years ago, it wasn't last summer, it was the summer before, because this thing takes a long time, I was on a walk. And you know what? Walking is really good for ideas. And I was just thinking, and I was just thinking about the possibility of doing another book. And I was thinking about what I could possibly write another book about. And the idea came to me because I love the way lace looks in bulky yarn. It takes on this graphic effect. It just changes the nature of it somehow. But also, one of the things behind mosaic and lace was that I wanted to move color work. I wanted color work, but I lived in Atlanta, and now I live in Florida. I lived in a hot climate, and color work tends to be heavy and dense. And by bringing lace into something that is, usually used for warmth, it opened up the opportunity for me to wear and have color work year round, because a lot of those really densely knit color work things, it never even got cold enough for me to wear. So in a way, this book is similar to mosaic and lace because bulky yarn is typically used to make bulky garments. It's used to make heavier things. It gives more warmth, yada, yada, yada. And I love bulky yarns, but there really aren't a whole lot of applications for me to wear them. So I felt like lace could do the same thing for bulky yarns that lace did for the slip stitch color work, is bring it into the realm of something that I could then use and wear the bulky yarn. But also you knit it on giant needles and it goes super fast, and I like instant gratification. So that was also a part of it. And in that vein, the instant gratification part, I also decided that to work on most of these patterns being lower on the complexity level. A beginning lace knitter should be able to find something in this book that they can start with. There's a lot of simple, repetitive patterns, but that I've hopefully arranged in a way that it comes out well, like this one on the cover. So this one has very small repeats, which I found that chunky yarn really likes. And so it's not the most challenging piece. So let's look in the book. I love this picture. Look at this. Whoop, whoop. Oh, hold it flat, Barbara. I haven't even looked at, I've been looking at this on PDF form and proofreading it and stuff. There we go. So that I thought was a super cool picture, because both of these pieces I designed to be unisex. And that is one of those things, designing something for a man to wear lace is a challenge. I have an introduction and I talk about lace. Look at this. I did a blanket, y'all. It's my very first blanket design, and you know what? One of the reasons I haven't done blankets up to this point is because they just take too long out of small yarn. But in chunky yarn, they go crazy. So we have a getting started with lace section, and I talk about lace, and I talk about reading a chart. This is by no means a comprehensive chart reading book. There's like whole books on reading charts, but this should get you where you need to go to read the charts in this book. It talks about the difference between working in the round and working flat. I talk about no stitch. I talk about this one on stitch markers and borrowed stitches. When your yarn overs straddle like this, where they're separated from their decreases, you need to understand what's going on. One of my personal favorites, your new best friend, the double yarn over. I found that bulky yarn really likes double yarn overs. And then there's a whole section on blocking, wet blocking, but also this is something that was very important to me. Steam heat blocking. This book has multiple pieces on it that are either 100% or in 100% acrylic or an acrylic blend. Because yes, you can knit lace, and yes, you can block lace in acrylic yarn. It's accessible to everyone, and I really can't say that loud enough. There's this myth that you can't block acrylic yarn, and now wet blocking doesn't do much of anything, but steam heat blocking does amazing things for acrylic yarn. And I'm talking about blocking because if you're not going to block lace, there's really no point in knitting it. I will take a stance on that. You need it. You need to block lace, otherwise it just doesn't achieve its special beauty. So there's that whole section. I talk about gauge, I talk about those things, and then we get into our patterns. This first thing, those are some mitts. I said that about blocking. These need to be only a little bit blocked. I break the rules, and you know that. So we're just gonna flip through this because I'm just gonna flip through it. So I want to talk more here. So let's flip through it. Oh, here we go. So that has a back index that has all the descriptions. And then look at that. I had to get some mosaic lace in here, y'all. So there is a mosaic lace piece in here. There's the hat. I don't want to completely go through this because I have a surprise. So I am putting this up just so y'all could see me open up, and I want to talk a little bit more about some of the ideas here. But I am doing a video, and next week there will be a video every single day. And those 5 videos, I will go through every pattern in the book in depth. You will see the pictures, and I will show it off to you like in front of my screen. But so this is my book. Here, let's fan through. Look. So you can see. Oh, that's something I want to show you about this book. I did this. There are these little bubbles. Says modify me. And what I do is I give you suggestions of ways that you can customize and make a lot of these patterns your own. Now, not every single pattern has that, but a lot of them do. And we've got charts. I tried my very best to make as many of them so that you can work them entirely from written or from charts. There are a few, though, that the charts were just too big and too complicated, and it does say that. You can see right here. Due to the size and complexity of the charts, the pattern does not include written instructions, because it would have added like 15 more pages. It's just the instructions would have gotten a little overwhelming. And I'm sorry for those of you who don't like charts, but there's not a lot I could do about it. But look at this. It's my very first garment pattern. Now, it's a rectangle with armholes, but it's a garment. It has a schematic and sizes and everything. Here we go. See, it's got a schematic. I'm cackling, yes, I know. So, what do I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about a little bit some of the things in this book. So when I decided to make it, one of the things I already mentioned is acrylic. I really wanted to make the book accessible in a way so that it hit a wide range of fiber availability, I guess I would say. So when I sat down to source the yarns, I made a list. And since there are 20 patterns, y'all, I sort of divided them up in like groups of 4. And it's just, I have to break things down into little bits to make them manageable because you got to do a whole lot of stuff in a very short period of time. So I made sure that there are yarns in this book. There are yarns that are available at your mass market big box store, like your Michael's or your Joann's. And so I made sure that there are yarns in there from there. And then you definitely have yarns. I have some Knit Picks yarns in there. They were very generous. And so that's a very reasonable price point mail order. Doesn't anyone say mail order anymore? Online. So it's something that's accessible to a large number of people or something comparable. And then I also, there are yarns that are going to be best acquired in your local yarn store because I think local yarn stores are like a thriving and important part of our community, our fiber community. But even in the yarn store yarns, I broke them out to ones that were at more affordable price points and then more luxury yarns. And then there's also a couple, now like the cover piece, this is Miss Babs K2, and it's available online, and it is a bulky, and she's an independent dyer because, you know, I'm an independent businesswoman. I want to support other independent business people in the industry. And then, so I try to hit all the price points. Yes, there are some luxury yarns in here, but hang on. Where is the blanket? I gotta show you my blanket. The blanket is in Lion Brand's Wool Ease Thick and Quick. Okay? Lion Brand Wool Ease Thick and Quick. It takes 5 skeins. It's a lot of skeins, but it's a blanket. But, and that is another thing, you'll find that in several of the larger pieces, I chose to go with more affordable yarns. So I really consciously tried to do that. The other thing I tried to do is make sure that the colors worked well together and, you know, all those kind of things. I did, I broke it out again in the 5. So there are 4 hats and 4 shawls and 4 cowls. So that's 3. And then I kind of initially had planned on doing 4 scarves, but I did 2 scarves. Well, I planned on doing 4 hats, 4 shawls, 4 cowls, 4 fingerless mitts, 4 things for your hands, and then 4 scarves. Yes. So I did 2 scarves, and then I did 2 fingerless mitts. And then I got distracted. So I ended up having sort of an etc. category. I mean, you don't see any of the categories and they're not categorized in the book, but it's how I thought about it. So then I ended up and I started doing some ponchos. So there are 2 ponchos in here. And then, because ponchos are just rectangles folded and seamed together. And then I actually decided to do the vest, the waterfall vest that I showed you, because it's just a rectangle with armholes. So that's super easy. And then I did a blanket because I could. So that is how it's just, I start off very focused, but then I get distracted. I do some swatching. I find a stitch pattern that really tells me that it wants to be something specific, and I just kind of have to go with it because I have to listen to the yarn, what it's telling me, or it fights me, and I end up with something that I'm not happy with. So I could talk about this forever because, I mean, I have spreadsheets I have everything, trying to figure out and balance the colors and have a wide range of making sure I hit reds and greens and blues. And I also really like, there's several pieces that are in the goldy yellow range. I mean, I love, this is citrine and it's a Barocco yarn. I just love it. And this is, again, trying to make sure there are pieces in here that you, that are truly unisex. And I'm so excited. I hope you all are excited too. The bulky yarn, it's just the most fun. It goes fast. It's amazing how quickly you can get things knit up in bulky yarn. Okay, here's another one I gotta show you because this one is just, look at that. It's huge. That's Malabrigo Rasta. It's knit on 17s. It is just, I was so happy with that when it was done. It took up my entire basement blocking it. It was big. So when you make that one, you need to make sure you have enough space to block it. But you'll figure it out. You could fold it in half if you needed to, along like the, how it's shaped like this. You could fold it in half and block it like a half moon with a straight edge, and that would be fine. All you got to do then is you'll have a crease in it. You open it up and just steam out that crease a little bit and pat it, and it'll be just fine. So if you don't have enough room, you can always improvise. And if you have problems, you can always, hey, I'm here. Talk to me in the comments. Talk to me on Facebook, and we will figure out how to make it happen for you. So I need to wrap this up so that I can keep this within my designated, man, I'm just babbling because I'm so excited. So it's my new book. Now, wait for next week. Next week, I will start, the videos will start going up. We'll have one a day. There's going to be a total of 5. Each one will be a specific. So there'll be a hat one, the categories I just went through. A hat one, a scarf one, a shawl one, yada, yada, yada. And on those days, I will also be uploading the Ravelry to the Ravelry pattern pages so that there'll be more pictures for you to look at and for you to favorite and add to your, what's it called? Queue. Also, in the link below, there will be a link to the Amazon page for it. It starts to ship on July 1st. So I'm doing all this as a run up. You can go ahead and pre-order it, or I really encourage you to talk to your local yarn store and see if they would like to carry it, because I think it would be kind of fun. But, you know, if Amazon's your option, the link is below. If you want the information on it for your yarn store, there we go. Stackpole, which is part of Roman and Little, okay? National Book Network is who sent it to me, and there's the phone number for yarn stores to call to get their own copies of this. Yes, I'm sniffing my book. Oh, wow. It's kind of hard to believe. So you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to go show it to my mom because that's what I'm going to do. The other thing I wanted to mention about the Ravelry pattern pages, the videos will go live as always at 12:30. I am not going to be up at 12:30 activating the Ravelry pages. I'm just telling you right now. So there will eventually be links in all of the videos to the pattern pages, but not at 12:30 at night. So, okay. Thank y'all for joining me on this journey. And you know what? We'll talk about, come over to Facebook, Patreon, hit me in the comments below, and we'll talk about doing a knit along. We can do a knit along for all the patterns or just one of the patterns, or we'll figure out how to do this. So let me know. Okay, I told you I've been stopping talking for a while, but I'm babbling. I'm really excited to share this with y'all, my knitting family. Okay. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up, click that like button. And if you'd like to be notified whenever I upload a new video, please subscribe to my channel and select notifications. That's clicking that little bell. Ding the bell and it'll send you a notice when I send up a new video. But I'm telling you, every day next week. Thank you so much.